Good afternoon. Right? Good afternoon, graduates, guests, RVU faculty, staff, and board members. Welcome to the Rocky Vista University College of Osteopathic Medicine graduation ceremony for the class of 2023. I'm Dr. Heather Farrell, and I have the pleasure of serving as the Dean of College of Osteopathic Medicine and as your Master of Ceremonies today. Our proceedings today will begin with the presenting and the posting of colors performed by the Buckley Air Force Color Guard. Following this, we will hear an invocation given by Dr. Rachel Linger, Associate Professor of Pharmacology and a valued member of the RVUCOM community. To honor the United States, please remain standing and join student doctor Ariana Kunzman from class of 2025 in the singing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Please be seated. Good afternoon. It is my pleasure to give this invocation, calling to order the graduation ceremony in which we will celebrate and honor the RVUCOM Colorado class of 2023. Invocations are times to reflect and think about the experiences that have led us to this place, that have marked the journey to be sitting here together. Graduates, we come together today to commemorate what you have accomplished. The exams you've passed and the skills you've developed are worthy of celebrating. You join an exclusive club today, and it is remarkable. But I want to acknowledge not just what you have accomplished, but how you have accomplished it. You have learned facts, data, and information at a rate beyond the comprehension of most people. You have learned the skills and knowledge to be a physician, to practice medicine, to care for patients. And you have learned the attitudes, the ethics, the values to care for them with compassion and integrity. You have developed the inclination to care for them with equity and inclusivity, recognizing their innate diversity. The core values of RVU have permeated your education, and they will stay with you as you move into practice. RVU has been your school, your community during your years here, and it will always be part of your village as you go out into the world to practice medicine. From a patch on your white coat and a line on your CV, to a warm and embracing place you can always return to, call on, and take advice, mentorship, and solace. RVU will always be your community, but far from your only one. Look around you in this opera house at the people who have traveled here to be with you today to share in this experience. They have been with you on this journey in so many different ways and supported you immeasurably. I hope you can feel their pride and their love and their satisfaction for what you've done and how you've done it. I am so grateful to have had the opportunity to speak to you briefly today and begin this graduation ceremony, to honor your accomplishments and your achievements, both past and future. Take in every moment today. Congratulations.
Good afternoon, and welcome to Rocky Vista University's 12th annual commencement exercise. How lucky are we to be in this beautiful hall? It is my great honor to stand before you today as you embark on the next phase of your professional journey. Graduating from medical school is a remarkable achievement, and I want to commend each and every one of you for your hard work, dedication, and sacrifice that has brought you to this moment. As you look ahead to the challenges and opportunities that await you as osteopathic physicians, I encourage you to remember the values that brought you to this profession in the first place. Compassion, empathy, and a commitment to improve the lives of others are the hallmark of a great physician. And I have no doubt that each of you possesses these qualities in abundance. As you know, the road ahead will not be easy. Medicine is a rapidly evolving field, and the challenge is that society demands nothing less than your very best. Whether it's developing new treatments, addressing healthcare disparities, or advocating for your patients, the work you do in the decades ahead will be critical to the well-being of your chosen communities. As you face these challenges, remember that you are not alone. You are part of a growing community of healthcare professionals and RVUCOM alumni who are dedicated to making a difference. You have the support of your colleagues, your mentors, and your patients who will rely on your knowledge, skills, and professionalism to guide them through some of the most difficult moments of their lives. Andrew Taylor Still, the founder of osteopathic medicine, said, "I have no desire to be a cat and walk so lightly that it never creates a disturbance. I say, go make some heavy footprints as you make a difference." So as you leave RVU and begin your residencies, I want to congratulate you on your accomplishments and remind you that you have the power to make a difference. I have no doubt that you will make us proud. Before I conclude, I think we should take a moment of collective gratitude. First, to the faculty sitting before you and beside you. Our faculty want their students to not just be learned and be wise and decent, humane, generous, forgiving, and yet light of heart. Please join me in honoring the faculty's efforts and contributions to your professional efforts. Next, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge our honored guests, without whom none of this would be possible, our Rocky Vista University preceptors. If we have preceptors here, please stand. These physicians are pillars of the community who not only educate RVU medical students, but set a shining example by also educating their staff and their patients on what giving back looks like in practice. It takes a village for the advancement and continuation of our profession as physicians. And last, but certainly not least, let's congratulate your families. They celebrate your achievement, and they are proud of what you have endured and accomplished. They have worried about you and throughout your medical career and offered you all kinds of support. Graduates, please allow me to take a few moments to extend your gratitude to your families and loved ones. Graduates of the class of 2023, each of you should enjoy the overwhelming sense of pride and accomplishment as you now look to the next chapter of your professional development and training. I would now like to introduce Dr. Maha Salam, the chair of our Board of Trustees.
Thank you, Dr. Forstein. Good afternoon, RVU graduates. It is my honor to congratulate you on behalf of the Rocky Vista University Board of Trustees. Nothing brings us more joy than seeing your hard work and dedication culminate in this achievement today. You are about to enter a professional environment where the only certain thing is change. Your successful navigation through the rigors of the program shows your resilience and resourcefulness. This is especially true given the challenges of the last 4 years. The RVU core values begin with integrity and end with innovation. The innovation aspect is meant to reflect fresh thinking and seeking better ways to serve and manage your world as you gain more insights and learn from your environment. Doing so with integrity and being true to yourself and those around you will serve you well. Our hope is that you carry these values and all of the other RVU values with you as you move forward with your careers. I want to say congratulations again to you and especially to your family and loved ones who supported you along the journey and who now cheer you on. I also want to congratulate your RVU faculty, staff, and members and mentors who worked tirelessly to help you succeed. Enjoy your celebration. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Ed Bilski, and I'm the Provost and Chief Academic Officer at Rocky Vista University. I'm going to ask for a special faculty member to join me up at the podium now. Dr. Jill Pitcher, please come on up here. This is a surprise, by the way. So it is an absolute honor for me to have the opportunity to work and be led by an icon of one of the profession who is dedicated to Rocky Vista University. I feel fortunate beyond measures to have had the opportunity to partner with her and work with her for the 7 months I've been at Rocky Vista University. Before coming to Rocky Vista in 2011, Dr. Pitcher attended medical school at Western University of Health Sciences College of Osteopathic Medicine. She came back to Denver to complete residency in osteopathic family medicine, and she's earned 3 board certifications since 1991. She's enjoyed a multitude of practice experiences in family medicine, correctional medicine, and integrative medicine, specializing in treating patients with chronic fatigue and fibromyalgia. Dr. Pitcher is the past president of the Denver Osteopathic Foundation and the Colorado Society of Osteopathic Medicine, and she continues to do work in the community with the Board of Trustees of the American College of Osteopathic Family Physicians. I have seen her working directly with students at Rocky Vista University, and her work has been recognized by the Special Olympics here in Colorado for that extracurricular activity. So today we are honoring her and celebrating her legacy and significant impact she has had on the growth and success of RVU. On behalf of the university, its Board of Trustees, and the faculty, it is my honor to award Dr. Jill Pitcher, Professor Emeritus of Rocky Vista University's College of Osteopathic Medicine.
Good afternoon. I'm Steve Miller, Senior Associate Dean for Clinical Education. I would now like to invite Dr. Forstein to the podium to join me as we honor our commencement speaker, Dr. Kenneth White. Dr. Forstein, I have for your consideration Dr. Kenneth Veit as a candidate for an honorary degree. Dr. Veit has served as the Senior Vice President of Academic Affairs and the longest-serving Dean, as well, of the Philadelphia College of Osteopathic Medicine. In 2009, he was also given the additional title of Provost. Prior to these positions, Dr. Veit served in various capacities, including Associate Dean of Graduate Medical Education, Director of the PCOM Healthcare Centers, which function as a primary teaching outpatient care clinics of the college. Prior to his affiliation with PCOM, Dr. Veit was the Chief Medical Officer for Region 3 of the United States Public Health Service and served for 4 years in the National Health Service Corps in rural Pennsylvania. Dr. Veit has been a member of the AOA Council of Predoctoral Education and was chair of the Commission on Osteopathic Accreditation. Dr. Forstein and Dr. Salam, on recommendation of the faculty, I invite Dr. Kenneth Veit to the podium to receive an honorary degree.
Dr. Veit served as both Dr. Miller and my mentors when we were at PCOM, so that's important for you all to know. By the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Rocky Vista University, I hereby confer upon Kenneth Veit, DO, MBA, FACOFP, the degree of Doctor of Science, honoris causa, and grant this diploma in recognition of his outstanding contributions to the osteopathic profession and medical education. Why don't we step forward and get our picture? Dr. Veit, the podium is yours.
Wow. What a venue. What a venue and what a great day this is. Over my many years in academic medicine, I've heard many commencement presentations, all from that side. A few remarks have been memorable, and some have been, not so much. But I do know, and I do recognize, that I stand here today essentially delaying for a few minutes the real event of today, that being the receiving of your degree. So my remarks might not be very memorable, but I promise that they are heartfelt, they're passionate, reflecting the importance of this day and sharing of some of my hopes for each of you. For many years, during PCOM's DO orientation, in front of each entering class, a faculty icon would present. That icon was Emanuel Fliegelman, DO, an OBGYN specialist. In fact, Dr. Fliegelman had a significant role in the education of your current president, Dr. David Forstein, and many others. Manny, or Uncle Manny, as he liked to be called, was a charismatic teacher. Now, you always remember your professors who are charismatic, but you also remember your characters, and Manny was a character. You can check with Dr. Forstein on some of his stories. During orientation, Manny always got dressed up to the hilt, got his hair cut, and got totally psyched up for his epic gig. Although I will not do him justice now, I will attempt his opening dialogue. First of all, he would stare out with great intimidation to the class. And then he would begin with a large, profound, deep voice. He would start with, "O ye, who enter here, pause and stop. And remember that you are entering a profession that depends on your understanding of human compassion. And if For whatever reason, you do not feel that you can give emotional support for another human being, turn around and go away. Do not cross this stage. Now, as first-year students, this was both moving and totally intimidating. Totally intimidating. But by the end of Manny's presentation, we are ready to run through walls. So with that historical introduction out of the way, good afternoon. Chairman of the Board Salmon, President Forstein, Provost Bilski, Dean Farrell, faculty, students, and guests. It's a pleasure to be here. Congratulations on making it to this point in your journey or your professional career. It has been, without a doubt, a journey, but like all journeys, it's never a straight line. I think each of you have your own story, likely full of twists and turns. These curves make us who we are today. It began, as most stories do, full of hope, optimism, excitement, anticipation, fear, anxiety. Starting medical school, you may have thought to yourself, am I ready for this? Do I have really what it takes? How will I keep up? Everyone here is much more capable than I am. How will I compete? Is this really the right path for me? Then in 2020, perhaps you were just beginning to adjust to the pace and rigor of being a medical student. The world changed. The pandemic upended. Whatever plans you may have had or expectations you may have held for your first year as a medical student changed. More questions flooded your brain. How will I do this? How can I go through medical school over Zoom? Will I ever see my classmates in person again? Will hospitals ever allow me to have a true clerkship? Despite the doubt, despite the exhaustion, despite the daily overwhelming fear and anxiety, despite the inability at times to engage and connect with faculty and classmates in person, despite the tremendous concern for your friends and loved ones, despite it all, you made it. You are well prepared. Your knowledge and skills and your training as an osteopathic physician has prepared you for the next step in your journey. To be sure, you are prepared in many special ways because you've been educated by a host of dedicated teachers, mentors, and administration. I have had the honor of being an osteopathic physician for almost 50 years. For 30 of those years, I had the special privilege to be the Dean of Philadelphia College of Osteopathic Medicine. But my osteopathic professional journey really began in a small Appalachian town in central PA as a National Health Service Corps primary care physician in the late 1970s, early 1980s. The nearest hospital was about 50 miles away. We were urgent care before anyone ever heard of urgent care. I fell in love with the role of a generalist, the acceptance and challenge of not knowing everything about everything, but learning how to become the glue that patients would trust. Never really knowing what was behind each treatment room, and then having to find the resources within myself and others to serve. Now, clinical stories abound, as your own stories will abound in the near future, especially as you progress in your professional path. Early on in my career in this Appalachian town, I was called to make a house call. And it was probably the first week I was there. And I was asked to see a patient named Desi. So I went to her medical chart, and I read the note by her former doctor. He said something alarming. Quote, made a house call on Desi. She met me with her shotgun and with some very foul language. Be careful. I said, whoa. So with a little bit of trepidation, I made the call. And again, that kind of explanation of a patient doesn't really fit in our electronic medical records. There's no drop-down menu that describes that kind of information, does it? I'm looking for it, but I can't find it. I did find Desi in a very small farmhouse, dilapidated as it was. She was in very bad shape. She was under her bed covers in a very dark and dreary bedroom. Her room was lit by a kerosene lantern, cold, wet winds blowing through the thin walls. She was coughing up very ugly stuff. Her lungs were wheezing, and she had a temperature. This was not a tough diagnosis to make. It was either pneumonia or something much worse. To compound the situation, she had a jar full of pills by her bedside and right next to her bed. And these are all kinds of pills. Red ones, green ones, purple ones, big ones, little ones. And when she did not feel well, she would just reach into the jar of pills and just pull out the first one that came to her, pop it in her mouth, and then reach for her bottle of whiskey that was right next to her bed, and she would down that pill with whiskey. Okay, I'm a young doctor, first assignment, town doctor. Desi, you gotta go to the hospital. She refused. I said, you'll die here unless you get care again. And then, no way, I'm not going to the hospital, doc. And she was totally alone, but she was clearly coherent. So what do? I took away the jar of pills, left her with some select antibiotics, replaced the whiskey with some water, and reluctantly left her to what I thought would be her eventual demise. Well, I left the area 3 years later. She was still alive and kicking for a number of years after that. So my first bullet point to each of you today, stay humble. Your medical knowledge, expertise will grow and change. But the strength and resiliency of our individual patients can always trump our medical knowledge. Bullet point 2. We all deal with bullet points here, right? Bullet point 2. Be nice to others and to yourself. Lincoln Hospital is one of our major clinical affiliates in Philadelphia. But like most affiliates in our town, PCOM shares Lincoln with 2 other medical schools and with many, many other medical students. I went to a social event at the hospital a few years ago, and I was approached over and over again about how much the professional and the administrative staff loved the osteopathic students. And they kept talking how much they liked the students. And I said, I finally said, enough's enough. I challenged some of them. I said, okay, what do you like about our students? Are they smarter than the other medical students? I don't know. I really don't know. Do they perform procedures better than other medical students? Again, I'm not aware. Okay, so what is it? So one person finally spoke up and said to me, your students actually talk to me. They treat us with respect and with a sense of professionalism and recognition. Now, if you don't know already, these administrative folks will be your lifeline in the near future. Be nice to everyone. It pays dividends. And of course, be nice to yourself. At the end of the day, your wellness and fitness is the ultimate bridge to helping others. Take care of your physical, emotional, and spiritual health. Bullet point number 3, embrace disruption and change. It's kind of funny, over the last couple of days, I've heard that mentioned so many times in front of graduation ceremonies, and I'm not totally sure I really know what that means. Yes, the world of healthcare delivery and organization is changing rapidly. AI, ChatGPT, et cetera, they are here to stay. So how do we use these new tools to enhance care to our patients and not allow these tools to just become another EMR-like tool, more for the benefit of the payer of healthcare than for the benefit of the patient? Hopefully, these new tools can create data and operational procedures that matters for our patients. Tools that help us in the logistics of taking care of our patients, but not get in the way of the more important strategies of care. Hopefully, all to benefit the patient. Amazon, Apple, CVS, Walgreens, private equity are all trying to tap into the healthcare market. And to impact the patients is still very unknown. What does this all mean to our society? Technology advancements will not stop and should not stop. But super technologies and new procedures might also outstrip our ability to pay. So how will we provide for services to all the members of our diverse society? So these and many other issues will now be your challenges in our brave new world. Perhaps embracing change is as much about coping with loss. We lose our routines, we lose our comfort zone as we change. And I think that perhaps the best advice is to recognize that change is inevitable, we must embrace it, but we also have to develop coping skills to deal with the loss of our routines and of our comfort zones. So it is sort of a balancing act. Bullet point 4, and my last point. Dr. Fran Sutter, my classmate, and one of the first cardiac surgeons in our area to use the Da Vinci robot in heart surgery, minimum invasive cardiovascular surgery. His volume of cardiac surgery cases in Philadelphia made him one of the most prolific heart surgeons in the city. I refer patients to him from my primary care clinic, and the patients all come back raving about their care from Dr. Sutter. They all assume that his technical skills are of top notch, which they indeed are. But that's not what they rave about. They assume that. They do rave about his bedside manner. Before surgery and in the recovery room, he uniquely engages with his patients. His hands are on their hands. His hands are touching their shoulders, maybe just taking their pulse, but always connecting with touch. No, he isn't using one of our valuable OMM techniques, and he's certainly not doing an active correction, but he is using his osteopathic roots, the connection and the communication that we are all taught during our osteopathic education. All of us can always get politely challenged by people asking, what is a DO? What is the difference? I am sure that each of us have our own elevator speech. We have it down pat. You have heard of the IQ. You also perhaps have heard of an EQ. I would propose an OQ, or what I call osteopathic quotient, is what we bring to the table, a unique and distinct knowledge of the musculoskeletal system which respects for the interconnectivity and the humanistic holism of the human body, mind, and spirit. So please, always remember your osteopathic roots. They can be maintained no matter what discipline or specialty you might pursue, just like Dr. Sutter. The ideal is to heal, but we also know that there are times when, despite our many hours of training experience, there's nothing we can do. In these times, I urge you to reflect on what you have learned over the last 4 years, and remember that there is a loved one on the other side of that diagnosis, on the other side of that phone call telling someone that their loved one did not make it, on the other side of that long walk to surgery or some other procedure is a loved one. In those moments, they will need all of your humanity. They will need you to express that strength of your personal connection. I'm confident that you will shine in these circumstances, but I know you will likely not be able to do it alone. I urge you to lean on your mentors, your colleagues, your friends, and your family. These are the people who have supported you throughout your journey so far. They will be anchors to the world outside of medicine that you will need. So in conclusion, I'd like to thank the Board of Trustees, the administration, faculty, and staff of Rocky Vista for inviting me to speak here. It is an honor and a privilege to be asked to deliver these remarks on a day of such great joy and celebration. To the parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, brothers and sisters, spouses and children, friends and others here to celebrate these graduates, thank you. Thank you for all you have done to support them, to guide them along the ways, or simple listening to them. You have done them a tremendous service and should be incredibly proud for who they have become. And lastly, to the graduates, you have come so far and have accomplished so much over the last 4 years. You have truly earned the recognition you will receive today. I have immense respect, compassion, and empathy for your path that you have had to undergo. My sincere congratulations to you on completing this phase of your medical training. I wish you the best of luck on your path forward, and may you continue to make the osteopathic profession proud. Wear your well-earned degree proudly. Along with all the many and various meanings of the DO degree, I would like to add one more. The DO degree also stands for Doctor of Opportunity, because each of you now have been given an incredible opportunity, an opportunity to make a difference to one patient at a time or to a larger community of patients. So as my hero, Dr. Fliegelman, would ultimately say, now shortly cross this stage proudly and in good faith to begin the next path in your service to others. Thank you all, and I love you.
Dr. Pitcher, come on up and we present some awards.
The DO program is proud to bestow 3 commencement awards to members of the class of 2023 who exemplify the mission and values of the program and institution. I will read a brief description of the award and ask each recipient to join me at the podium to receive the honor. The graduate with the highest academic rank and achievements and your class of 2023 valedictorian is Dr. Benjamin Cooper. The Dean's Award recognizes a graduate who has demonstrated academic excellence in all areas of their medical education. Class rank, board scores, shelf exam scores, and scholarly works, both in and out of the classroom, were taken into consideration when selecting a recipient. This year's award goes to Dr. Hannah Clough. And our last award is the President's Award. This award recognizes a graduate who has set themselves apart from their classmates academically and has made significant contributions to their community. This award recognizes their commitment to service, scholastic achievement, outstanding character and leadership, and who embodies the university's core values of integrity, collegiality, compassion, diversity, excellence, service, and innovation. Dr. Lacey Taylor, please join me on stage.
The members of the faculty of the College of Osteopathic Medicine have evaluated the candidates and endorse all of these students as worthy of having the degree Doctor of Osteopathic Medicine conferred upon them. Dr. Forstein, members of the Board of Trustees, and honored guests, on behalf of the faculty, it is with great pride that I present to you Rocky Vista University's College of Osteopathic Medicine graduating class of 2023. We will now honor the graduates earning the Doctor of Osteopathic Medicine degree. Hooding is the culmination of the medical student's achievement of the DO degree. The hood is adorned with green velvet, which represents the academic color of medicine. The school's colors adorn the inside. Dr. Jill Pitcher, Professor of Family Medicine, Professor Emeritus of Family Medicine, has been selected to serve as the faculty hooder. Graduates were also given the option of being hooded by a family member or a preceptor. The fellows will be hooded first, followed by our military students and award recipients. The rest of the class will then be hooded in alphabetical order. The graduates' names will be read by Dr. Brian Schwartz, the director of a Frank Richel Ames Memorial Library and Associate Professor of Medical Humanities.
I think we've got a spot
On the other side, right?
Dr. Remy Boudreau. Dr. Hannah Chong. Dr. Amy Drabant. Dr. Hannah Clough. Dr. Jonathan Olivas. Dr. Julia Stelter. Dr. Nicole Wong. Dr. Hunter Barnes. Dr. Vincent Bustamante. Dr. Brianna Clark. Dr. Joseph Farrell. Dr. Caitlin Dupre. Dr. Garrett Flory. Dr. Seth Hill. Dr. Brian Johnson. Dr. Michael Kreiser. Dr. Sean Lynch. Dr. Jacob McCleary. Dr. Svetlana Morel. Dr. Kyle Spangler. Dr. Lindsay Toma. Dr. Nicholas Toma. Dr. Jamie Truax. Dr. Benjamin Cooper. Dr. Lacey Taylor. Dr. Mary Armbruster. Dr. Ayush Adhikari. Dr. Arthur Armijo. Dr. Camille Beaton. Dr. Anna Bielitz. Dr. Jordan Bernard. Dr. Garima Bandari. Dr. Logan Bingham. Dr. Michael Blumquist. Dr. Maddie Brand. Dr. Zachary Brody. Dr. Connor Brown. Dr. Madison Brown. Dr. Anna Buck. Dr. Lydia Cameron. Dr. Ashton Carter. Dr. Trevor Carver. Dr. Cassie Castillo. Dr. Sean Charzanko. Dr. Ilma Chowdhury. Dr. Jason Christie. Dr. Lin Chung. Dr. Christian Clodfelder. Dr. Joseph Constein. Dr. Spencer Cooper. Dr. Thomas Coyle. Dr. Tanya Kamala. Dr. Shannon De La Villa. Dr. Rebecca Eaton. Dr. Jeffrey Edwards. Dr. Robert English. Dr. Jonathan Evers. Dr. Lofton Fansler. Dr. Taylor Fisher. Dr. Patrick Flannery. Dr. Garrett Firth. Dr. Jonathan Gale. Dr. Talia Gurgley. Dr. Keldon Godfrey. Dr. Kyla Gracer. Dr. Miriam Ha. Dr. Jamie Greathouse. Dr. Christina Henderson. Dr. Ryan Hurchin. Dr. Julio Andre Hernandez. Dr. Shane Hyde. Dr. Macklin Iliff. Dr. Clarissa Jacknow. Dr. Diksha Karki. Dr. Brandon Keithley. Dr. Tyler Kellett. Dr. Mary Kalapari. Dr. Nathan Kimata. Dr. Alek Konopnitsky. Dr. Sarah Konopnitsky. Dr. Joshua Kramer. Dr. Slade Kuchenbaker. Dr. Deandra Kurupu. Dr. Michaela Laird. Dr. Claire Levinson. Dr. Prava Limbu. Dr. Marsden Livingston. Dr. Brian Liu. Dr. Mesa Lynch. Dr. Sierra Maggard. Dr. Lucas Marks. Dr. Nadira Matin. Dr. Sarah McCann. Dr. Aaron McCartney. Dr. Jordan McGee. Dr. Kelly Moore. Dr. Luke Malnow. Dr. Michaela Malnow. Dr. Devin Monroe. Dr. Matthew Nanos. Dr. Delvin Newenlee. Dr. Dustin Wynn. Dr. Sandra No. Dr. David Orban. Dr. Allison Pobek. Dr. Daniel Perling. Dr. Penny Paschal. Dr. Brian Pringle. Dr. James Rager. Dr. Sebastian Ramos. Dr. Colin Roberts. Dr. Savannah Rosenbaum. Dr. Zoe Roth. Dr. Mackenzie Ryan. Dr. Colton Salisbury. Dr. Michaela Schmidt. Dr. Zachariah Schultz. Dr. William Searles. Dr. Cassie Shaw. Dr. Ana Rosa Simo. Dr. Prakar Singhal. Dr. Nicholas Smith. Dr. Scott Smith. Dr. Jonathan Snell. Dr. Nicole Snyder. Dr. Kendra Soli. Dr. Brandon Spady. Dr. Luke St. John. Dr. Joshua Stanton. Dr. Jack Strickland. Dr. Nathaniel Stringer. Dr. August Stupi. Dr. Megan Swoboda. Dr. Kevin Tregesser. Dr. Nadine Taher. Congratulations, Hunter. Dr. Hunter Temple. Dr. Alexios Therianos. Dr. Caitlin Tobin. Dr. Jamie Travers. Dr. Deborah Twardowski. Dr. Nicole Twardowski. Dr. Victoria Valdez. Dr. Michael Vogel. Dr. Lindsay Wallace. Dr. Whitney Ward. Dr. Nicholas Wenz. Dr. Kaylin White. Dr. David Wilkins. Dr. Rebecca Withers. Dr. Elke Wood. Dr. Jennifer Wu. Dr. Allison Yun Yang. Dr. Florence Yip. Dr. Oliver Zhang. Dr. Christine Brown.
Let's give the class of 2023 another round of applause. Will the class of 2023 please stand? Graduates, by the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer upon you your degree, Doctor of Osteopathic Medicine, with all the rights, honors, and privileges appertaining thereto. You are hereby recognized as graduates and alumni of Rocky Vista University. To signify your accomplishment, will you please move your tassel from the right to the left? If you ever forget which side the tassel goes on, remember that you wear it on the left side over your heart to remind you of your alma mater. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the class of 2023. The graduates can please be seated. I would now like to invite Dr. Ryan Green, President of the Rocky Vista University Alumni Association and graduate of RVUCOM's class of 2015, to the podium to extend greetings from the Alumni Association and to administer the osteopathic oath.
All right, let's get this adjusted. Can you all hear me? Yeah? I'm going to speak anyway. Greetings from the RVU Alumni Association. Not too long ago, I was sitting where you were, and excitingly, we are celebrating our 10-year reunion for the first class that graduated from RVU this coming summer. So we've come a long way from where we were back about 8 years ago when I graduated. Before I begin, Dr. Nadira Mateen, wherever you are, if you want to raise your hand. I didn't plan this, but I trained at Dartmouth as well. Cravens in the food court, Crazy Mike. You'll know him when you see him. Treat him well, and you will never go hungry. And that's the value of the Alumni Association. So there you go. Right? But before I begin and administer the oath, just one thing I want to remind you all, because I've been there recently, is you're about to do something very difficult. You thought med school was difficult. Well, it's about to get a little bit more difficult. So make sure that you take care of yourselves. I cannot overemphasize that. Practice what you preach. If you're going to tell someone to do something and you're not doing it yourself, it's going to be hard for them to believe in what you're trying to offer. And the Surgeon General just recently released a report emphasizing the impact of connection and community. So as you guys disperse Part of the beauty of the Alumni Association is being able to come back together, connect, support each other. You guys have done incredible work the last 4 years. Stay connected, talk to people. If you feel something, whether it's family, friends, coworkers, colleagues, or fellow medical students, one of the biggest things that we need to pay attention to is making sure we stay in connection. Being connected and community are two different things. So keep that in mind. If I can give you guys a piece of advice as you progress over the next few years, take care of yourselves and stay connected. All right. So with that, I would like all graduates to please rise. And I also invite any physician in the audience or on stage to stand with us, with our graduates, to reaffirm or share our oath. So please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do hereby affirm my loyalty to the profession I'm about to enter. I will be mindful always of my great responsibility. To preserve the health and the life of my patients. To retain their confidence and respect. Both as a physician and a friend. Who will guard their secrets with scrupulous honor and fidelity. To perform faithfully my professional duties. To employ only those recognized methods of treatment. Consistent with good judgment and with my skill and ability. Keeping in mind always nature's laws and the body's inherent capacity for recovery. I will be ever vigilant in aiding in the general welfare of the community, sustaining its laws and institutions, not engaging in those practices which will in any way bring shame or discredit upon myself or my profession. I will give no drugs for nefarious purposes to any person, though it may be asked of me. I will endeavor to work in accord with my colleagues in a spirit of progressive cooperation and never by word or by act cast imputations upon them or their rightful practices. I will look with respect and esteem upon all those who have taught me my art. To my college and my profession, I will be loyal and strive always for its best interests and for the interests of the students who will come after me. I will be ever alert to further the application of basic biologic truths to the healing arts and to develop the principles of osteopathic medicine which were first enunciated by Andrew Taylor Still. Thank you, fellow physicians. Please be seated.
Thank you, Dr. Green. Wow. It is one of the greatest honors and pleasures of my job as dean to be able to deliver this speech on the day that you become doctors, officially. I will be mindful always of my great responsibility to preserve the health and life of my patients, to retain their confidence as both a physician and a friend. You just recited those words with your hands in the air and with your colleagues listening. You said those words as a part of an oath that you affirm or swear to, a contract that you entered into, a contract between you and society, between you and your patients, and between you and the new profession of which you are now a member. There are phrases embedded within those time-honored words which are worthy of rumination, of consideration and contemplation, so that we more clearly understand exactly the commitment that you just made. I'd like to focus on two of those today, health and life, and retain their confidence. Health and life. The oath says that you have a responsibility to preserve the health and life of your patients. I've always found it provocative and intriguing that the oath says both health and life, a seeming redundancy, but one richly worth delving into. You have the obligation to heal your patients and to keep them alive. That's a staple of your job, and one that's most readily identified with the job of a physician. When patients come to you sick, it's your job to help make them well. And when patients come to you broken, it's your job to help put them back together again. You will use remedies that are natural and developed, that are physical and mental, and pharmaceutical medications, as well as hands-on treatments. Your patients will come to you with all sorts of things broken or in disrepair, bones and joints, ligaments, skin and muscles, and you will spend years honing the craft of putting those things back together, of mending and casting and splinting and operating to take those things that are broken and set them right again. But what happens when the malady that comes to you is not with their spleen, but in their soul? What happens when they come to you not with a broken leg, but with a broken heart? What happens when they come to you not with a physical disorder, but with a disordered existence? You treat them. You treat their soul, their mind, their chaotic or unmeasured life every bit as carefully and as passionately as if it was their liver or their lungs. You treat their fear with the same kindness and competence, the same patience and proficiency that you would treat bleeding. In my estimation, that's why both health and life are in there. You'll always remember the responsibility that you have to their health and also to their life. Their life. Your responsibility for preserving their life is not just to make sure that they're breathing and moving, it's to make sure that they're leading the life that they want to lead. In the best way that they can, within the parameters of the circumstances and choices that they make, honoring always their sacred autonomy. Your responsibility is to help preserve the life of the patients that they want to lead, so that at the end of the day, when you go home and reflect, and you say that you saved their life, you're not just able to say, I saved their life, but also to say with equal measures of pride and thankfulness and satisfaction, I saved their life. Retain their confidence. Confidence can mean to trust completely that you or someone else has the skill or ability to accomplish something. I have confidence that you can drive the car to the store. It can also mean that you have faith in someone's discretion. I tell you this story in confidence. They both mean to trust completely, but in very different ways. There is something deeply meaningful about the fact that the osteopathic oath uses this word in that context. The language used in the oath could imply either version of the word confidence, and you are obligated to keep your patient's confidence both in skill and discernment, in your tact and in your technique. The oath also says that you will retain their confidence. The fact that it doesn't say anything about earning it in the first place implies that it's assumed you will do so, which means that you need to work to keep it, to maintain it, to perpetuate it, and that is so very much harder. Earning something says that you deserve it once. Retaining it means that you always do. It requires constant vigilance, constant displays of merit, unwavering indications that you are worthy of their confidence. Retaining your patient's confidence means that you will steadfastly personify the pillars of medical confidence and medical ethics, that you will exemplify compassionate and excellent care, that you will be a symbol of learned expertise, and you will embody the very best tenets of patient-centered practice. It means that on the days when you feel less than your best, you work to deserve their confidence. It means in situations or moments where your heart is not in it, where you're frustrated, depressed, or depleted, or in disagreement with your patients, that you will still work to deserve their confidence and to retain it. It means that that they can trust in your proficiency and your prudence always. I hope that if you reflect back on today, when you reflect back on today, and the arduous 4 years that it took for you to get to this place, that you'll truly process those words and this oath, and will think not just about what the words mean, but how they're lived. How will you truly and deeply have your patient's health and life in the center of your mind? And how will you keep the idea of retaining their confidence as the anchor, the mooring of your medical practice and your life as a physician? Thank you all for everything that you've done in preparing for your career in medicine, and thank you in advance for all that you do as you will prepare to live it. Congratulations, class of 2021. I'm so proud of you. Or 2023. I was close. It's not a ceremony without a faux pas. Rocky Vista University proudly identifies as a military-friendly school, and because of this, we have a large population of students who are part of the Health Professions Scholarship Program. Please welcome Dr. Dean Gubler as we honor those HPSP students and present to you their commissioning ceremony.
In our brief history, we have achieved acclaim for our commitment to military medicine, including receiving the designation as one of the top 10 military-friendly schools. With 111 students on military scholarship, we have earned the distinction of having the largest number of students on military scholarships of any civilian medical school in the country. We are proud of our students. We are proud of their service to our country and we are honored to witness the commissioning of 15 of our graduates as part of the commencement ceremony. Dr. Brian C. Line, Major General, U.S. Army retired, will lead our commissioning ceremony. Dr. Line is the Defense Health Agency Assistant Director, Healthcare Administration. He provides leadership in the administration and management of healthcare delivery across all departments of defense hospitals and clinics. He oversees the sustainment of medical readiness of the armed forces and the medical force within the unified military health system. Prior to joining the Defense Health Agency, Dr. Line served 30 years in the U.S. Army as a physician and as a leader, retiring as Major General in the role of Chief of Army Medical Corps. He has commanded at multiple levels, including the Army Medical Department Center and School, the U.S. Army Medical Research and Materiel Command, and the Landstuhl Regional Medical Center, Germany. Other leadership roles include the Deputy Army Surgeon General, Deputy Commanding General for Operations of U.S. Army Medical Command, Theater Surgeon in Afghanistan, and Command Surgeon for U.S. Army Command. He most recently served with the National Coronavirus Task Force as the Serology Testing Lead. And prior to this position, he worked at Hospital Corporation of America as a Division Vice President for Graduate Medical Education. Dr. Line received his Bachelor of Science degree from the United States Military Academy and his MD degree from Temple University of Medicine. He is board certified in general surgery and a fellow of the American College of Surgeons. He also received a master's degree in strategic studies from the U.S. Army War College. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Line. Singing the military fight song is student Dr. Ariana Kuzman. I invite all veterans and their families to stand when you hear your song.
of the United States. The Constitution of the United States. Against all enemies. Against all enemies. Foreign and domestic. Foreign and domestic. That I bear true faith and allegiance to the same. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. That I take this obligation freely. That I take this obligation freely. Without any mental reservation. Without any mental reservation. Or purpose of evasion. Or purpose of evasion. And that I will well and faithfully. And that I will well and faithfully. Discharge the duties. Discharge the duties. Of the office I am about to enter. Of the office I am about to enter. So help me God. So help me God. All right.
Captain Sean Lynch. Captain Joseph Farrell. Captain Vincent Bustamante. Captain Brianna Clark. Captain Nicholas Toma. Captain Lindsay Toma. Captain Jacob McCleary. Captain Caitlin Dupre. Lieutenant Michael Kreiser. Lieutenant Brian Johnson. Captain Svetlana Morel. Captain Seth Hill. Captain Hunter Barnes. Captain Garrett Flory.
Well, we have come to the end of our ceremony today, but it is just the beginning of the next steps of the journey for our graduates. Please join me in thanking the graduation committee and all the volunteers whose diligence and hard work made this ceremony possible. Family and friends are invited to greet the graduates in the lobby at the conclusion of the recessional. Let's give one more ovation to the RVUCOM graduating class of 2023.